Hey everyone, today we will be talking about grief. Grief is the natural emotional response resulting from a significant loss, whether it be death, work, expectations, or loss of dreams. We all grieve differently, but there are typically 5 parts to grief. By understanding each part, it can help you understand your reactions and current emotions. By processing these emotions, you will be able to manage grief in a healthier way and have fewer breakdowns. Denial is questioning the reality of the loss. A person might believe there was some sort of mistake, such as a mix up or an incorrect diagnosis. Anger is when those who are grieving may begin to cast blame, ask questions like why me, or become angry at the situation they are in or grieving. Bargaining. Here, the individual may attempt to bargain as a way to avoid the cause of grief. For example, after receiving a terminal diagnosis, they may plead, I will eat healthier, I'll quit smoking, and I'll do everything right if I can just get better. Sometimes we do this with our children as well. And depression. Here, the individual may experience intense sadness and they may lose motivation for living, isolate themselves, and enter into mourning. The last part of grief is acceptance, and here the person comes to accept the loss, although there may still be pain. During this stage, there is a sense of calm and a resumption of what you can call normal life activities. It's important to also understand that everyone grieves differently. Give yourself grace and allow yourself to feel. Don't pretend like everything is okay, and if you feel like grief is affecting your daily life to the point of not functioning, it's important to ask and speak to a professional. The symptoms of grief can look a lot like depression. Symptoms of grief include feelings of shock or numbness, intense distress occurring in waves of 20 to 60 minutes that often include physical and emotional discomfort, shortness of breath, and tightening in the throat. When you are experiencing grief, you also have sleep difficulties, loss of appetite, restlessness, loss of sex drive, guilt associated with the loss, poor concentration, and intense sadness. What is integrated grief? After managing your loss and accepting it, sometimes we move into what's called integrated grief. Here you've been able to resume your daily activities, you feel more like yourself, and you've created a new normal. This doesn't mean that you no longer feel pain and mourn the loss of whatever you're grieving. You've just learned to cope with this. Grief may sometimes intensify during the holidays, anniversaries, or birthdays, but it's completely normal. Give yourself permission to fall into those strong emotions. You will find yourself again after you've processed those feelings. Grief also sometimes changes into something else, something unexpected, something worse. When grief is too overwhelming and it is not managed, it can turn into depression or anxiety. Signs of this may be if your tearfulness and sadness are no longer about the loss and instead is focused on you, your guilt, your flaws, and putting yourself down. If you find yourself worrying about your own daily functioning like work and family to the point of freezing, this could also be considered anxiety. Grief will unfold in its own way. It will come in as waves. Sometimes you'll feel okay, and then other times you won't. But you will get through it. You will go through each part. Sometimes you will feel acceptance, and then you'll fall into anger again, and then begin to mourn again. So it is a fluid process. You never truly stop grieving because that void of the loss that you experience will always be there. But as time passes, as you use coping skills, and as you start to manage your daily life, this loss will become more manageable and it will be integrated into your daily life. Like I said, if you feel like this is too difficult for you to cope with and your coping skills are not working, I would suggest that you talk to a therapist. If you go to my website, you can have a link on how to find a therapist online. And on my website, you also have resources. And if you click on resources and you go to the link of grief, you will find a worksheet with all of this information on there. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you were able to connect with it in some sort of way. If you have any questions, you can contact me, send me a message, or reach out on Instagram. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.